All right, let's get this bread. All right?
Is it on?
Yes, sir, it is.
What is it? Ice.
Okay, let's get it. You as well. Big ups.
Big ups. Oh.
And here we are.
We're all synced up.
We're all synced up.
Yep.
This is the a podcast that we're trying out here.
Yeah, I think it'll be good.
Yeah, I think it'll be good. I'm leaving for the military pretty soon.
Yeah.
So I don't know how many of these I'll be able to crank out in the next 15 days. But we're going to try it. And, I invested in this microphone, which I probably should have done a long time ago. But, I've done it now. So let's seize the moment. Let's do this podcast.
Let's do it.
Let's get this. So we have a couple topics lined out, but let's for a moment, I just want to talk about what we just did. So we didn't just come back from Walmart. We actually went back into town with some people.
We went and watched Annabelle, and it was pretty good. The acting was a solid, at a scale of 1 to 10, solid 1.9, I would say. And Keelan fell asleep.
Yeah, I brought my headphones. I kind of knew. I'm not really a horror movie guy. It just doesn't do it for me. I don't benefit from it. I'm pretty soft, so it's just not really my cup of tea. But that's okay.
Reed almost died from an allergy attack.
Yeah.
That was rough.
That was good.
Halfway through the movie, you just hear him sneezing, coughing over and over again for a solid 20 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it was alright. And then we went to McDonald's. And we were planning on doing the podcast as soon as we got back from Walmart. But
that didn't happen.
So now it is currently 12:36 in the morning. So I
have work tomorrow.
Yes.
So
send.
Full send. That's what we're doing. So send. All right, well,
let's get into our first topic.
Okay, so this podcast, I'm not imagining that a very large amount of people will be tuning into this podcast, to be quite honest. But I want to look back on this in the future, and just so I can see where I was at in my life and how I felt about myself and my past. So we're gonna do a little sum up of our childhoods before we go off into adulthood, because we're pretty close. We're in between right now, but
a few more months and we're gonna be like responsibilities and
we're gonna be there.
Alone.
Okay,
so let's start when we were just little. Do you want to start like when we met?
Yeah.
Right. So Keelan has lived in Bayfield his whole life, and I moved to Bayfield in 8th grade. And my first impression that I heard of Keelan was he was a demon child.
Yeah.
From our neighbor Dylan, and I was confused on why. And his one reasoning for why you were a demon child was you ran up the stairs on all fours.
I still do that.
I still do that as well.
Yeah, it's easier.
It is.
It's a lot easier.
But he told me to go down there with someone, or I wouldn't come back. And
good. Thank you, Dylan. God, gotta love that guy. Really put in a good word for me.
Yeah, and 8th grade was pretty uneventful, to be honest. Not a lot happened.
It's a blur. Yeah. Middle school is just a blur to me.
I met Spencer. Basically, my only friends were Spencer, Keelan. I kind of a little bit. I didn't really talk to him, and then Dylan kind of, and that was pretty much it. That was kind of Spencer and I were the squad, and Keelan had like Seb and
Seb and Reed towards the beginning of high school. I dabbled in different friend groups. I was never really settled in one. My freshman year and sophomore year. Not great. I didn't really go to any parties or like social gatherings. I pretty much just hung out with Reed and Seb and I didn't care about school at all. I mean, that didn't really change, but I just kind of went through day by day, just played a lot of Xbox, Halo Reach, Destiny 1, played a lot of that, Minecraft, Terraria, the good stuff. Yeah.
Freshman year for me was pretty, like, I didn't really do a lot. We once stayed in football, and then that was, like, when I actually realized that high school could be pretty fun. And I remember asking Keelan at the end of our freshman year, like, how he liked high school. And I remember I liked it. I had a really good, fun year, good time. And I remember him saying that he absolutely hated it.
Yeah.
He said it was the worst time of his life. And it made me think, like, like, why? Like, why did... Like, what happened?
I did soccer for the first 2 years, and that was not great because I was this little 5'5" or 6" guy, scrawnier than I am now, believe it or not, just running around out there. Just, it was not that was, those were not my prime, I have to say that. Yeah, puberty hit, but I didn't grow at all. I was just this little, tiny.
Yeah, I definitely did not have my peak freshman, sophomore year. I talked to a lot of women. Like, I had a bunch of women friends, and then I just cut them off one day because I got snatched up by another woman for 2 years. Yeah. And but that was basically freshman, sophomore year. I was taken for the majority of the time, and not a lot happened. But junior year, I started off kind of shitty because I was dating this female, and we've been dating for 2 years, and she kind of got stolen from me. But
snatched, swooped, acquired.
She got swooped, but it's okay.
It was for the best.
Yeah, it was for the best in the end.
Yeah.
And I went on. We once stayed in football again. So that was pretty low. I actually played some, so I actually felt like I did something to like earn that. And then we went to state junior year for cheer, and we took third in the state out of 19. That was good, and that's where I met my future girlfriend of about 6 months, and she was really chill for a while. And that was pretty much what happened junior year. I just sort of went with the flow with her and didn't really think much of anything. It was pretty nice. And then so what about you?
Yeah, so the first 2 years I played soccer, I can't really say I've had a good experience with extracurricular activities, because our soccer team, probably you could say they were not the best in the area. It's like knowing every time traveling to a game that you're just going out there just to get shit on.
Yeah.
Just to get shit on. And that's what happened every single game. We're just not great. And I didn't contribute to the team at all. Just played JV and so much conditioning. And that's why I didn't play junior and senior year. But junior and senior year, what changed was I grew a little bit, and I started going to parties, which was interesting because I've never like hit nicotine or smoked weed or drank alcohol, and I've always been super against all that stuff, and I was really afraid that I would kind of break down in high school, but I never did. And parties, parties were, there's something else. Like, that environment.
That's true.
If you want to lose respect for everybody that you care about, just go to a high school party. Or, another thing, if you're trying to get over a girl, just hang out with her while she's boosted.
Mm-hmm.
And feelings will fade fast. That's my pro tip.
Yeah, building off of what Keelan said about losing respect for people that you, like, you'd see someone that you're like, oh, they seem like a good child, they do a lot, they work hard in school, they go hard in sports, they grind, and then you go to that high school party and you look over there and you see them blazing up, and you're like, wow, I did not expect that at all.
What a great guy.
Mm-hmm.
What a man, a unit. It's like, who can damage themselves more? Who can take more hearts of damage than someone else? It's not a healthy environment at all.
No, there's lots of essentially it's like what Keelan said, is like a competition.
Yeah.
Like shot for shot, hit for hit. Those are real things. And from personal experience, they're not fun to do at all. And I do not recommend them. Don't do drugs at all. Not good for you. I have not done any hard drugs, just so you know. Just want to point that out there.
But me always being the sober one, the DD, I got my license in March of my junior year, so a little late. But it's always kind of a pain in the ass just watching all your friends just act like total dumbasses. And just having to still respect them as a human being when they're not actually functioning as a human being. It's always... I wouldn't say I feel left out, but it's kind of a good feeling, you know? I've always felt, this is going to sound really I'm just going to sound like the biggest douchebag ever, but I always just felt like I was just standing up there on my moral high ground looking down at everybody get trashed, just boosted.
Well, I think there are ways to have fun without intoxication.
Yeah, no, I think it can definitely be helpful to having a good time, but
getting
people
completely shit-faced
never use it in moderation.
And with Keelan being the always sober one, junior year I didn't really go to any parties. I think I went to one the whole year, and from then on I still had somewhat of a moral compass, and I stayed sober for all the parties I went to up until senior year. And then senior year was probably like the best year that I've had in my life, like, because I went to a lot of parties. I could actually stay out semi late and kind of do what I want, but it just it allowed me to create just the best memories that I've had, like, with all my friends. It allowed me to bond more with my class, because before, our class wasn't really ever tight or anything.
No.
But this year we all kind of got somewhat close. We made some connections that we've never made before. But
yeah, I was hanging out with this guy named Reed a lot, and he kind of helped introduce me into more social situations, which kind of got me out there a little bit. Sometimes that's all it takes, is just having one friend that is in the loop to kind of pull you out. There's hope for everyone, honestly. I had very low self-esteem, and I just was horrible at talking to anybody. I was just a nervous wreck. But, it's possible. You gotta try.
But yeah, it's crazy to think about how our school system, the way it's set up, how easy it could be for one person, but not easy for another person, and how easy it is not to care and just give up. Be this doesn't matter, just by the way that they present themselves and present their tests and assignments and everything like that.
I wish that I would have tried harder, but looking back on it, I don't think that I would have. If you put me in the same situation 100 times, I don't think that I didn't have the motivation. School just felt like such a waste of time. You know the feeling when you're sitting in a class getting force-fed this information. You just feel like you're decaying in that seat.
Oh, you definitely feel it inside.
And it's what am I doing here? And now, graduating high school, I feel, even though I have my future lined up, I feel like lost. Like I'm in between two things, and I'm kind of on my own to do my. And it's like any other summer. Like this is just like any other summer, but it hits.
It feels different.
It hits different.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Like when you think that you don't. Like if I wanted to, I wouldn't ever have to go to school again. You would never have to go to school ever again.
Yeah.
And it's just a weird feeling. But as Keelan said, getting force fed that information, it truly does like make you want to just croak on the inside, because they just give you notes and then make you remember that section of notes for a test, and then you don't ever remember that stuff ever again.
It's just take this,
yeah,
put it here, get the grade for like 12 years.
And then repeat, yeah.
And it just gets a little harder every year.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not my environment. That's why the military was such a good option for me. We have like 15% of our class was going to go into the military. I know, I think a couple people got disqualified, which is super unfortunate. But fortunately, I was able to make it. I'm leaving 15 days. And it's so weird. Like, I have everything lined out for me. Like, all the equipment I need to get. All the documents I have sent in. The whole process has been so long. It's all laid out for me, but it's still like I feel like I don't know what I'm doing. Like I have paying my own bills now.
Mm-hmm.
Some of my own bills. It's just a weird spot.
Mm-hmm.
It's a weird spot.
To compare with him going in the military, I'm going to college, and it kind of feels weird too, because like when you're registering for like high school now, it may be more complicated at a bigger high school because we went to one with 300 kids, but like you didn't really have to, like registering for classes was literally like a 15-minute process, if that, and then if it was like a hard class, you had to get assigned by one teacher. And then registering for everything at CU is literally hell, because the website will take you to a link. You click on that link, tells you to click on another link, which brings you back to the first page.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the most complicated thing. And it feels like in high school, it felt like there was like a little bit of a safety net. Like they actually, like, even though they acted like they didn't really care, it was like if you actually got into trouble with grades or something, then they would pull you out. Like, but in college, it feels different. Like if you actually fail, no one cares at all.
Yeah, because it's your money.
Yeah.
In high school, it's different because you're just getting a free education, and it's your choice to either take advantage of that or not take advantage of that. But with college, there's a stupid amount of money on the line that you're just going to be Kobeing into the garbage. And especially if it's not your money. I think parents paying for their children's college is a very generous act. Okay, but I think it's bad for the kids, because now I've owned a car that my parents bought me, and then owning a car that I purchased. I'm acting like an old man here, like I know something, but I'm still just a kid. But it's like
it teaches
you have a sense of like, oh my gosh, I paid a lot of money for this.
You can't do it.
Really want to take care of it and optimize the money I spent so that it's not wasted. And if you just get stuff handed to you, there's no loss.
Definitely.
If you waste the money, it's the worst thing. I know parents have good intentions, but it's the worst thing you can do to a kid is providing for them like too much.
Yeah.
You got to force them into independence. Like, got to encourage them to get a job early on, even a small job. It's so important, because when they get into the real world, they're still going to be a kid. They're not gonna
Yeah,
know
they're
what
gonna
to
be
do.
like, Mom, I ran out of money. Can you help me?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely important to have some sort of responsibilities, and like I mean, you can start like when they become a teenager. I feel like just like little stuff like taking out the garbage every week, making sure that it's on time,
Yeah.
and then getting a job, and then I agree with Keelan. Like if you buy something that's relatively expensive on your own, you're gonna be like, this is like I paid so much for this. Like
Yeah.
I don't want anything bad to happen to this. And I can definitely see where you're coming from with the college thing. However, I do think that like helping the child out with college just because it is so much
Mm-hmm.
that like I feel like that could be acceptable. But like if they're just like, all right, here you go, here's $30,000 a year.
Then they're not gonna value each class, because each class is like
It's
$80.
Oh, it's
each
like 200.
period. 200 a class period. It's messed up, man. That's why. So thankful that I'm going into the military. If anybody that's listening to this has not decided yet, I'm into ultimate recruiter mode here. It is like a normal job besides basic training. Once you get past that, it's like a normal job that you're getting paid for, and I'll be getting paid to go to school online and get a 2-year degree that I won't have to pay for, and I'll be doing my 9 to 5 job. I'm doing munitions, blowing shit up for a job, with the ability to cross train, and there's plenty of room to move up in pay. It's not like you're not stuck. There's plenty of room to make it into a career. It's this. Everyone just expects you to go to college when college is dangerous.
It is.
I know a lot of people that have gotten boned by college because they've got a shit ton of debt that they can't pay for, and a degree they can't use because they have the degree but they don't have experience in the field, and there's no opportunities, and it's just scary. Like knowing that the money that you have you don't actually have because you owe, like you have negative money is oh man, I don't know.
Yeah, like
it's
this
not...
money that I'm making currently with my job is going straight like back to college.
Yeah, it has to.
Yeah.
It's so much. It's so expensive. And everyone just thinks you need a college degree, and that's why they charge so much, because society has just built up just like you graduate high school, you go to college.
Yeah,
that's just how you do it.
It's just the only like socially acceptable way to do it. It's either that or the military. Like there's definitely some things that
you have to take steps.
Yeah.
You have to take initiative to try and advance. Like every day it's been such a struggle for me I've been trying to wake up every day at 8:00, go to the gym, take a shower, eat lunch, and then do whatever. But it's so difficult with trying to get all my stuff packed up to leave, trying to get all my documents set up, trying to get my bank account set up. Now I've gone, because I went on a trip after I graduated, I've gone a couple months without working, which is not epic because I'm still spending the same amount of money. So now I need to go back to work, and that's going to disrupt the flow of waking up and working out. And it's going to be so nice being in the military. I'm owned by the government, but it's like
I feel like they'll take care of you.
Yeah, it'll be good. And it's going to be hard though. Like Spencer, one of our friends, left. He leaves tomorrow. He's actually at a hotel tonight. He goes to MEPS in the morning for a checkup, and then he gets shipped out to basic training in Georgia.
Yeah, Fort Benning
in Georgia.
Yeah.
For the Army. And it's really hard. It's really hard. He's a tough guy. He's got a super tough mind. He's tough physically, but it's like it's still got to him. Like it still stressed him out. He messaged me and we were talking a little bit about it's stressful. Like the unknown, just getting thrown into this completely, like you're an adult. Like go. You have to just start doing all these things. That's why it takes months ahead of time. You gotta ease into it and do things. Like, you can't just jack around. Like, this is crucial time. This is the time in our lives where every choice we make will alter our future and how successful in whatever way you define that we are. And it's just really important to just get down to business and do as much stuff to benefit yourself as you can. It's just, it's crucial, and it's hard.
Yeah, I felt kind of bad for Spencer, because like Keelan said, he's a tough guy. Like, he's been through a lot. He's like always, he was from Florida, so he's Southern and has that like Southern mentality, and like, I'm really strong and all that stuff. And got a text from his mom while we were in the movie, so it was like probably like 11 o'clock at night, and she just said, pray for him, he's scared. And like, that was the first time I've ever, like, he's ever said he was scared about anything. Like, anytime he had, like, when he went to MEPS, he was like, you'll be fine. He just said it was like uncomfortable, and any other time I've never like seen him or heard him actually like be scared about anything.
Him being scared is scary. Like, I mean, it is scary though. I think I have so much time. I remember getting out of graduating high school and thinking I have so much time, and now it's like I have half a month, and before I know it, it's going to be gone, and I'm going to be in basic training getting shit on by drill sergeants and running, and I'm not going to be able to contact my friends, and I'm going to feel alone, and it's going to be tough, and it's hard. Like, it's hard that Spencer left. It's going to be hard when I leave, because I've built up so many relationships in this small town. There's only a limited amount of people, so you get to know everyone. And it's just like this tight little community. There's people that don't like each other, but there's more people that I do like than I don't like. And it's going to be rough just leaving it all behind. And for people that get to go to college in this area, it's still hard because a lot of their friends leave. It's a weird time. It's fortunate that we have social media.
Yeah. And like, everyone talks bad about these things, but it's pretty helpful.
Yeah, it can be useful in moderation, but people definitely go a little too hard on some.
Yeah, speaking of useful moderation, we have very different views about some. I mean, like, I think we both agree that meth is not good and heroin stuff not good, but we have very different opinions on like drugs, such as like marijuana and then like alcohol and stuff like that. And like, personally, I think that like marijuana, even though like I feel like the stigma around marijuana is like completely lazy, and like I don't give a fuck and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I feel like it could be used as a tool. Alcohol, I don't really get alcohol, to be honest.
Yeah. I've got a pretty bold opinion on all these substances, and I really shouldn't talk too much because I've never been under the influence of any of those things, but I have seen time and time again how they affect my friends from the outside, and it can be hard watching, because my opinion is, okay, there are outliers of people that benefit from these drugs that, like, prescription drugs are prescription for a reason, because they benefit some minority of people, but the majority of the usage is just
to get fucked up.
Yeah. It can be seen in a light that it's heavily taxed, so it benefits the economy, and if it doesn't affect me, then why should I care? Which, fair enough. Why should I care? Other than the fact that it's my friends, and I don't believe in altering your mental awareness. I believe in like having a single conscious plane. Like I try and take the least amount of pain suppressing medication and stuff like that I can, because if I can overcome it without that, then that's cool, I guess.
Yeah, power to you.
Yeah, but it's a problem with kids.
That's true. That's fair.
Like young ass kids just going hard. Like there are people our freshman year just straight up raging, just freaking going so hard at parties, and they'd come to school the next day just hung over as this tiny ass 14-year-old kid. Like, oh damn, dude, that was such a rager last night, bro.
Like 14.
Yeah, it's like
puberty.
You are a child.
Yeah,
you're a child. Chill, man. What the hell, bro?
Yeah, that's definitely one thing with
shit's fucked up
with weed that I don't agree on as much. Is it's damaging to a person under about 25, a little bit earlier for females, because it doesn't kill brain cells, but it stunts
development.
I'm sure it actually could harm people. But yeah, definitely after 25 is more acceptable, like with marijuana, than before.
Yeah, there's a reason there's age limits on that type of stuff. But I mean, a lot of that goes without saying. There's stuff that's bad for kids, and kids are gonna always just do stuff that's bad for them. And if they don't value their physical health or mental health, then it's okay. That's none of my business.
Yeah, it's not my problem.
No. We were having a good time. I was just, playing Minecraft in the middle of everyone just fucking going hard.
This is true.
I was just mining.
It was lit when he was mining, which is another reason that you don't have to be intoxicated to have fun. I remember when he found diamonds, we all went crazy.
There's no drug that can simulate the feeling of finding diamonds in a room of boys that hype you up.
God, that is...
Yeah, if I learned one thing from being a child, it is that you can have a good-ass time without drugs. Because I still had a great time at parties without drugs.
Oh, yeah. There's no better feeling than finding diamonds in a room full of boys.
Can we talk about Minecraft for a second?
Let's talk about
Holy shit. That game. I recently found my dad's old laptop from 2010. And I turned it on. I remembered the old password, logged into it like normal, and I loaded onto my first Minecraft world ever. A creative world, of course.
God.
Because I was soft.
Must have shed a tear.
And it was emotional. That music kicked in, and I saw that house. I remember that house being like this magnificent, beautiful creation. And that shit was a damn square. Just bricks and glass just... on a hill. It was so god awful, but the fact that my memory of that house was so high up and it was just so bad just tells me like it really, I don't know, for all ages you can get something out of Minecraft.
That's true.
It kind of fell off, but I personally, I know it definitely did fall off, but I personally did not stop playing it. I've always had a group of boys that we always mine. And that shit slaps. If anyone tells you that Minecraft doesn't slap, they are incorrect, and they need to not be in your life anymore.
Minecraft is kind of like Legos. Like, it's for all ages. You can really get like enjoyment out of it from like a little kid just to like go on creative, and then don't really understand what survival is. I personally I played the Pocket Edition a little bit when I was like probably 12, 13ish before I moved here, and I never got to mine with the boys like they did. But then just this year I started mining again, and
it takes you back
good God,
to another time.
It does. It's like those memes that like have the compilation of just like short clips or pictures from our childhood. Minecraft just does that.
That music, that timeless music. Man, that game, I would
like God. Sex is good, but have you ever played Minecraft?
But have you ever found diamonds in Minecraft in a room full of boys?
That's a quote.
That's where it's at. That's what's up.
I found diamonds for the first time today using Keelan's strategy.
Good.
Yeah.
The strip mining or the just the cave?
It was a strip mine, and then I found there was a cave to. I was playing with someone else. I was playing Carissa, and we like went down. We got to the 12th on the y-axis, level 12, and I did your strip mining thing one way. She did the other way, and she found a cave.
Okay.
So I went to the cave and I went out, and we found I think we found 11 diamonds in that one cave.
That's good.
So yeah, it was a joyous feeling.
Yeah, good times. Xbox, I've definitely put way too much time into Xbox. I clocked out around 80 days on Destiny 1.
Oh my God.
80 days. And I don't know, some of that could have been sitting in the menu, leaving my Xbox on overnight. Hopefully, I hope that's not all genuine gameplay. But I can't imagine how much I put into Halo Reach. But Xbox is really a large portion of my childhood. And I remember multiple people. I played a lot of Xbox. Like, in all my free time, I'd play Xbox. And a lot of people were not down with that. Like, they would really just say some messed up stuff. Like, you're not going anywhere. Like, if you don't get off the damn Xbox. But what people don't understand is you're still interacting with people. Like, you get to have these interactions with people you go to. I have a group of boys that I went to school with, and we play Xbox all the time. And there's nothing I'd rather do than have an Xbox night with the boys. Just all playing a game. Destiny raids, 6-man raid. You need teamwork. That shit slaps.
That is true, because I know for a fact that Keelan, like, he kind of, I don't know if it was just this year, but you kind of, like, drifted away from, like, that friend group. And then you kind of, like, went more with Reed. But literally, Reed was a very influential person in high school. Like, he was with all the friend groups. He was
everyone knew him.
And so everything that he would say that was funny or do, people would start copying. And everything that he would do came from this man right here.
Not everything.
Most.
But I was kind of the little guy. Because when me and Reed hang out, we become the same person. And so the way that I've been able to get into social situations is making people laugh, because I had no self-confidence and I had hardly any friends. But people say, if someone says that I'm funny or if I can make someone laugh, it feels so good. Well, it makes me feel like I was able to make someone's day or make someone feel a little bit better for even just a moment, and it just feels great.
Well, yeah, you are definitely probably the funniest that I know.
Well, thank you,
honestly,
sir.
Like,
thank you.
You're like the most quick-witted, like, person that I
thank you. I appreciate that.
Like, last night when we got the idea to do a podcast last night, actually, at Spencer's going away party. We got the microphones out at our church. We started talking, and, like, literally everything you said, like, was just slapped.
Well,
literally everything.
Thank you.
And, yeah. But now I think, speaking of funny topics, we should get into the good stuff.
The good stuff.
The good stuff.
Is that where are we going there?
Let's never go in there.
Okay. I want to lean more towards the hormonal side and how disgusting it can be. If we're talking about mentally altering substances,
that's true.
Being like ready to go is mentally altering, because as soon as you get that out, you are like just like you're going, and then you're just,
oh yeah, you come back to reality. Like,
you come back down.
Like a post-nut decision. That is a real thing.
That's when I do my best thinking. My best thinking, seriously. Like, if I think something right after I boost, it's a level-headed decision.
It is.
And you can't. You have to do that before you think about certain things.
You definitely do,
because your peen will make decisions for you if you're not careful. It does.
There are definitely
it's fucked up, man.
Times where I have been, as Keelan quoted, ready to go, and I have just thought about like women that, like afterwards, just like, why did I even like think about, like, why did they come across like my mental train of thought, and then, or like certain decisions. It could be a big decision too. Like I personally think that for every big decision you make in life, you should boost first.
Yeah, I bet every single Gandhi quote was right after he just, because that's when you think the best, you make the best decisions. But seriously, I really wish that I could never be horny. It's fucked up. It's like a different person, and it sucks ass. I'm ready to be done with puberty and to be done with that, so I can just be a normal human being that thinks normally and makes reasonable decisions. Yeah. Like, we are animals.
Yeah, we
are animals.
We are definitely.
And it's because of
animals.
The damn chemicals
that go from our peen to our brain back down to our peen.
Our peen is our brain from 14 to 20. I don't know. Hopefully it ends before that.
I think it stops finally at 25.
Oh my god. Long ways to go.
Which sucks, because now I don't completely agree with Keelan's quote about that completely stop being horny, because there are definitely times in which, like, you're with a woman and you want to do stuff, and they're trying to do stuff, and like, if you weren't into it, then it wouldn't be enjoyable. But like, if you're by yourself, then I guess my point is that you should be able to control it. Like, I wish you could could control that.
Yeah.
Because they're, especially age like 13 to like 15, it would just pop up out of nowhere.
Messed up.
Literally.
Messed up.
You'd be riding in the car with your grandparents, and it just boop, pop up.
And you can't do anything. No. Can we talk about that?
Yeah,
Can I not have control over my own body?
No.
What the hell?
No, it's
Who
awful.
designed that?
And just recently, I think I'm going through another stage of puberty.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going on like a wave of puberty, because recently that's been happening again.
Yeah?
Like, I've been just driving. I listening to music, not even like sexual music. It can be like
normal ass music,
like metal, some shit.
Even, I don't know what does it.
Here we go again.
It's happening right now.
Yeah,
this is happening right now. I'm driving to the dentist with my dad. This is happening right now.
I'm at a dentist appointment getting my teeth done, and it just pops up. Yeah. The worst experience I had with that happen was when I was still in gymnastics, and I quit gymnastics when I was 14. And this happened, I think I was 13, so it was like right, like, not peak, but like, you're pretty close. Like, you're at the peak of like that stage of puberty. And it, like, I was in a gymnastics meet. Now keep in mind, we all wear tights during gymnastics meets, right?
Yeah.
Like, we wear a leotard, and then we wear either shorts that go up to here.
You're just asking for it.
Or stirrups. And I remember I was getting ready to perform and go to my event. I forgot what event it was. I think it was like the floor or like the high bar or something. And I was just getting ready, and it just popped up. I had like 30 seconds before I had to go, and it decided it needed to, for some fucking reason, to just boost up there.
It sucks.
And there was nothing I could do about it.
Why can't I just have control? Like, if you could just turn it, it wouldn't be a problem.
No. It would cause so much embarrassment to just be down the drain if that was not a thing. But sadly, our bodies decided that they wanted to have a mind of their own. Another thing that is really bad, moving away from the random boners, is like in high school, the amount of sex and what you hear about a person and their reputation really, really has an impact in high school. Especially a small high school like here, because if you lay the pipe on someone, everyone knows. Literally everyone knows.
Yeah.
Like, you try to keep it a secret, you try to tell the boys, and somehow that boy has
what happens is you go, okay, you can't tell anyone.
Yeah.
This is super DL, but I clapped the hell out of this one girl.
And then I go ahead.
And then you're like, okay, bro,
can't tell anyone.
Can't tell anyone.
Yep.
This is super DL. But
Beelan
clapped this one girl. And then he's like, holy shit, dude.
And then
he does the same thing
to some other girl.
Yeah.
And
then all of a sudden it's like, dude, did you hear Keelan
he fucked a teacher.
Fucked like 10 teachers and some old guy all at the same time. And that shit was whack, bro. That kid sucks. And that's my reputation gone.
Yeah.
That's another thing. A majority of my YouTube channel is privated for a good reason, because no one wants or needs to see that. But I always look back at myself and am disappointed. Just some gross ass, loud, obnoxious little kid. I'm sure I'll watch over this and be like, wow, I was so dumb.
Yeah, we'll probably look back at this and be like, what the hell?
Yeah, but that's okay. You know, that just shows that I've improved.
Yeah.
I've bettered myself. But what I was saying is that if you are a little piece of shit, it stays with you. Like, people don't forget that. And that makes it hard to move up, because everyone just knows you as that kid still, even if you're better. That's been a problem for me, because I was not a desirable human being in my younger days, younger than I am now. And I've paid the consequences.
Yeah, but I feel like you've worked your way out of that hole, because you have, like, people know now that you're chill.
Yeah.
And you've definitely gotten a lot more attractive since like I met you, and definitely you definitely had a glow up. I mean, he got voted most changed since freshman year, and
true.
That is very true. But your reputation.
Any growth from what I was is a glow up. For the record, we're not gonna go there. We're the slicked back, gelled hair and the tiny. It's not good.
Yeah,
just go watch some. I'm sure there's some old YouTube videos I have public. You could go look at and just cringe a little bit.
It was a really, really rough time.
It was an awkward time.
But we worked up from it, and throughout high school, there have been lots and lots of, like, appearances that have come from people that you don't expect. And that happens at parties, and that all relates back to our social interactions in high school and drugs as well, because I mean, there wasn't a lot that happened at our senior camp out, but I know in the senior camp out that happened above us.
Yeah.
There were lots of interactions between people that you never would have thought of, like.
And see, we know nothing goes unsaid in a small town.
That's true.
Even has-beens, you know when shit goes down. Mm-hmm. You know.
Yeah, and it can be a good thing, but it can also really, like, not be fun if you're trying to have, like, a a low-key relationship, a low-key like hookup or whatever. That's not happening here. Everyone will find out.
Yeah.
Somehow people will just know, and it's hard to keep it that way. Like, hard to keep it to yourself, and it's not that fun, especially with sex, because if you like say, I think the hardest part for me was like if there was a woman who wasn't really attractive, but you felt like she was attractive and everyone else was like, she's gross.
Yeah.
And you were like, I kind of feel like she's attractive, and then but you wanted to keep on the DL because just you found her attractive, and you didn't want the boys or anyone to know. That was not happening in our small town.
It doesn't happen.
Mm-mm.
No, we've had an interesting little incubated upbringing in this town.
That is true.
And I can't say what type of person comes out better, like small town or big town kids.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say I don't know for sure, but I think we all did the best with what we had, and most people turned out pretty good, and I'm sure that we'll find success in our own way, in each our own ways.
Yeah. And like you look at Durango, like I consider them a decent sized school.
Yeah.
They're not like huge, but they're decently sized, and they had actually like a really bad heroin problem this year. Did you know about that?
No.
Yeah.
I knew about the coke, but like
they had a heroin problem going around.
What the hell? All right, listen. If there's anybody watching this right now that freaks with hard drugs, knock it off. That shit sucks, man. What the hell? No one needs to be freaking with that. There is ways to justify alcohol and weed and nicotine, but maybe not nicotine, but
meth. Nah.
What the hell are you doing?
Yeah, meth is
Get some help, please.
Yeah, you.
That shit's fricked.
Yeah, like I don't know, sticking a needle like in my arm.
God, why do you even try that for the first time? It takes a special type of soft to say yes to meth.
Yeah, and it takes a special type of like, you have to be in a low place where you literally cannot find happiness in a friend or anything.
Yeah. Than
meth.
Yeah.
One of my mom's cat breeder friends, her son is he has Asperger's, and he's extremely high functioning, and he's really like. Ever seen the movie Rain Man? It's about this guy who's autistic, and he's super smart. Like he's awful at social things, but like he like does math. He's insanely smart in his head, and it was basically like this friend, and he the only way he could function that he found, because he just constantly thinks, and it's the thinking in his head was louder than reality, so he couldn't like carry a conversation or anything, because he'd think about this and he'd think like, all right, why'd they say that, why'd they do that. He said that when he would take tests in school, he wouldn't think of what the right answer was. He would think, what was the person thinking when they made this question? Like that's why he would think. And he said he couldn't find a drug. He's done like a lot. He's done like LSD, meth, heroin. No, he never got addicted to any of them, because he was like so smart and like so like not grounded, but like just like aware of like what it could do to you and everything. Yeah. And he tried meth, and he said that meth was like the only thing that it made him feel was, he said it made his body feel numb. It didn't help with like the mental thing. So like even like increasing your dopamine levels like that didn't do anything for him. And the only way that he could function, he came out here for a week and visited, and the whole time he was on dabs, which I don't know if y'all know what dabs are, but they are concentrated THC. So like in a normal cannabis plant, you have it's not a high percentage of THC, but a dab is it's like a gel kind of substance, and it's pure THC. So it's just the stuff that gets you mentally high.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the only way that he could function. And he was on dabs the whole week, and I had no idea. Like, he was, like, talking like how you and I were talking.
Yeah, because it kind of levels out.
Mm-hmm.
But
that's, like...
Meth is bad.
Yeah, that's the only...
There's still no justification.
Yeah.
It didn't benefit him.
It didn't, but, I mean, for trying it. That's what I was getting at.
Okay,
but,
that's
like,
fair enough.
That's the one
But
thing.
still, it didn't benefit.
No.
Show me a study where meth benefited someone, actually.
No, there is. I don't think there is one.
Why? Come on.
I don't think there is one.
Yeah, well...
Same thing with heroin. None of that. No hard drugs.
That's messed up.
Hard drugs are... Hard drugs are for noobs.
Yeah. Plebeians. Soft. Ugh, soft.
Soft marshmallow nibbles.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Well, I think this has been good.
Yeah.
It's been a productive...
We got through all of our topics,
conversation.
I think.
Yeah, it's very late.
It is.
I have to work in the morning. I'm sorry if I've been very low energy. I'm just tired.
Yes, we are.
And I'm going to work in the morning. But I hope that someone listened to maybe 10 minutes of this. I don't expect people to listen through the whole thing. But if someone is this far in the podcast, thank you.
Yes.
You know, you mean
you
a lot to me.
Thumbs up.
You mean a lot to me, seriously. Like, that's impressive. I'm impressed.
Listening to an hour and 15 minutes of
holy cow,
rambling on.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well,
but I mean, it was fun.
Yeah.
It was good. It was a good talk.
This might be the last podcast with Eli. Hopefully, maybe when I come back here, we'll be able to have another one.
We can look back and be like, what the hell?
I'd like to pursue YouTube, honestly. I've always been doing it. I've never been consistent, but I want to get a couple podcasts out. I want to see some reception. I'll talk about this more at the beginning of the podcast next time, so that people actually see it. But if you made it this far, thank you. Comment, epic, cool, chilled, epic, cool,
lit,
epic, cool, lit, podcast time.
Yep. Podcast time.
The comments.
Hashtag podcast time.
Hashtag podcast time. Well, this has been our first podcast. A dub. Yeah, absolutely. It's a good experience for both of us. Mm-hmm. So thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you next time. Peace.
Good B.